Okay. Yeah, it's something. Tina, will I have the readout on the side here? I just did that myself, right? I put the, okay, I got it, yeah, I got it. It's good. We're ready. Okay, get ready, everybody. Thank you. Welcome and good evening, everybody. It's Thursday, February 17th, 2022. I am Councilman John Igliozzi, the President of the Providence City Council. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Council President Igliozzi.
Present, please.
Councilwoman Anthony.
Present.
Majority Whip Castillo.
Present.
Councilman Correa is absent. Council President Pro Tempore Espinal.
Present.
Councilman Gonzalez.
Present.
Deputy Majority Leader Harris.
Present.
Would you like to do
Councilor Kerwin.
Present.
Councilwoman LaFortune.
Present.
Councilor Miller is absent. Senior Deputy Majority Leader Narducci.
Here.
Councilwoman Ryan.
Present.
Councilor Salvatore.
Present.
Majority Leader Taylor.
Here.
Councilman Vargas is absent. You have 12 present and 3 absent. You have quorum.
Thank you. The first item is the invocation given by, I would ask, could Councilwoman Anthony, would she be willing to do the invocation? Is that okay?
Yes, of course.
Thank you. Councilwoman Anthony, you have the mic.
Dear Lord, I ask for your blessing this evening and to guide us in making the right decisions for the residents of the city of Providence. Amen.
Thank you. Next item number 2 is the Pledge of Allegiance, led by President Pro Tem Pedro Espinal.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands
which is
one
one nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
living
and liberty
justice
for
for
all.
all.
Thank you. Next item number 3, Madam Clerk.
Executive order, item number 3. Executive order 2022-3 submitted by His Honor the Mayor dated February 9th, 2022, abolishing the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Council.
Receive item number 4.
Approval of minutes, item number 4. Journal of Proceedings number 4 of the regular meeting of the City Council held February 3rd, 2022.
Motion to approve item 4, Mr. President.
Councilman Ryan makes that motion. I have a second by.
Mr. President.
Senator Harris. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Next item, Madam Clerk.
Appointments by His Honor the Mayor.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Ryan,
motion to waive the reading of items 5 through 7.
Second.
second by Deputy Majority Leader Harris. Discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, receive those items, please.
So noted.
Next item,
Ordinance.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Ryan.
motion to waive the reading of items 8 and 9 and pass for the second time on a roll call vote.
Second, Mr. President.
Second by Deputy Majority Leader Harris. Discussion? Madam Clerk, a roll call vote.
Council President Igliozzi.
Aye.
Councilwoman Anthony.
Aye.
Majority Whip Castillo.
Aye.
Councilman Correa is absent. Council President Pro Tempore Espinal.
Aye.
Councilman Gonzalez.
Aye.
Deputy Majority Leader Harris.
Aye.
Councilor Kerwin.
Aye.
Councilwoman LaFortune.
Aye.
Councilor Miller is absent. Senior Deputy Majority Leader Narducci.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryan.
Aye.
Councilor Salvatore.
Aye.
Majority Leader Taylor,
Aye.
Councilman Vargas is absent. You have 12 ayes and 3 absent. The motion carries. The matters are passed for the second time on a roll call vote.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next item, please.
Presentation of ordinance.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Ryan.
motion to waive the reading of items 10 through 18.
Second, Mr. President.
Second by Deputy Majority Leader Harris. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, refer items 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17 to the Finance Committee, and item 18 to this Committee on Ordinance, please.
So noted.
Next item.
Presentation of resolution.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Ryan.
motion to waive the reading of items 19 through 24 and pass on a voice vote, and ask the clerk to read the items 19 through 21 into the record.
All in
Second,
favor?
Mr. President.
Oh,
No,
Nope,
22, 23, 20. So it's just 19 through 21.
sorry.
24.
Okay.
I take back my motion on
Right.
motion.
Take back my second.
Why don't we, so the motion's been, the second's been withdrawn and the motion's been withdrawn. I would suggest, I think we actually read items 19 through 21.
Yes,
So-
sorry.
If I could entertain a motion to read items 19 through 21 into the record and a pass on the voice vote. Could I
So
entertain?
moved, Mr. President.
Councilman Ryan makes that motion, seconded by Deputy Majority Leader Harris. Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Clerk, can you read items 19, 20, 21, and also let the record reflect, I believe the individuals are here in the audience. So first, let's read into the record, please.
Sure. Item number 19, sponsored by Council President Iglesias, Councilwoman Anthony, Councilman Espinal and Gonzalez. Resolution recognizing Angela Bannerman and Colma. Whereas the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Hall of Fame recognizes individuals who carry on the legacy of the late Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. within the community. And whereas Angela Bannerman and Colma is the Vice President, Executive Director of Equity Leadership at the Rhode Island Foundation. And whereas Ancona previously served as Executive Vice President, Director of Community Investment at United Way of Rhode Island and the Rhode Island Department of Health, where she is a founding co-director of the Health Equity Institute. And whereas Ancona is a board member of the West Elmwood Housing Development Corporation and a founding member of the WEHDC's Sankofa Initiative, which works to address modern health, financial, and community challenges through increased access to the healthy foods that are traditional to the West End's ethnically diverse community. And whereas Ancona also serves on the advisory boards of the Latino Policy Institute and Amos House. And whereas Angela Bannerman Ancona is an outstanding member of the Providence community and a deserving 2022 inductee of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Hall of Fame. Now therefore be it resolved that the Providence City Council hereby extends its most sincere congratulations to Angela Bannerman Ancona on her induction to the City of Providence Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Hall of Fame. Be it further resolved that upon passage, copies of this resolution be transmitted to the Mayor of Providence and Angela Bannerman Ancona. Item 20, resolution recognizing Reverend Howard M. Jenkins Jr. Whereas the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Hall of Fame recognizes individuals who carry on the legacy of the late Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. within the Providence community. And whereas Reverend Howard M. Jenkins Jr. has served as the pastor of Bethel AME Church in Providence for over 10 years. And whereas originally from Portsmouth, Virginia, Reverend Jenkins is retired from General Dynamics Electric Boat after a 31-year career. And whereas Reverend Jenkins is the president of the Rhode Island Ministers Alliance and a member of several community organizations. And whereas Reverend Howard M. Jenkins Jr. is an outstanding member of the Providence community and a deserving 2022 inductee to the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Hall of Fame. Now therefore be it resolved that the Providence City Council hereby extends its most sincere congratulations to Reverend Howard M. Jenkins Jr. on his induction to the City of Providence Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Hall of Fame. Be it further resolved that upon passage, copies of this resolution be transmitted to the Mayor of Providence and Reverend Howard M. Jenkins Jr. Item 21, resolution recognizing Idris Landry Ajaki. Whereas the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Hall of Fame recognizes individuals who carry on the legacy of the late Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. within the community. And whereas Idris Landry Ajaki, a Providence native and president and CEO of the 25 Bow Street development, an innovative mixed-use commercial space in the heart of Ponyville. And whereas Ajaki has helped to develop and host events such as the New England Family Fun Festival and the Rise Women's Leadership Conference in partnership with his wife, Felina Ajaki. And whereas Ajaki serves as a mentor through Year Up, College Leadership Rhode Island, local schools, and has been involved in youth basketball in Providence. And whereas Idris Landry Ajaki is an outstanding member of the Providence community and a deserving 2022 inductee to the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Hall of Fame. Now therefore be it resolved that the Providence City Council hereby extends its most sincere congratulations to Idris Landry Ajaki on his induction to the City of Providence Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Hall of Fame. Be it further resolved that upon passage, copies of this resolution be transmitted to the Mayor of Providence and Idris Landry Ajaki.
Madam Clerk, let the record reflect that the full council will co-sponsor all those items. And then second, by the way, I want to do a standing ovation and congratulations to the three recipients. We do apologize that we would love to have done it in person and have greater fanfare and appreciation to all three of you for your service and the great work you've done for your community, for your city, and your family and friends. Hopefully in the near future, we can all get back alive and hopefully celebrate again together. With that, I know we do have council colleagues who want to speak, and I'm going to give them an opportunity. So I also want to just thank on behalf of the council, the president, we thank you for your service. Councilwoman, Deputy Majority Leader Mary Kay Harris, you have the mic.
I just wanted to say congratulations, and I didn't have my name there to co-sponsor these wonderful people. And that's all I wanted to say, but I think I want to yield the floor because I did see Councilwoman LaFortune first. Thank you, Council Press.
Thank you, Deputy Majority Leader Harris. Then we have Councilwoman LaFortune, and then we have President Pro Tem Espinal. Councilwoman LaFortune.
Thank you, Council President, and thank you, Deputy Majority Leader. All these honorees have been people that I've been watching in the community for quite some time. Angie Ankoma Bannerman is a dear friend, and I just want to say how incredibly proud and honored I am to know all of you. You all have been so engaged in the community through some of the most difficult times, from Reverend Jenkins doing all the work in the community around COVID-19 and really advocating to create more equitable standards and making sure that people have access to testing, as well as information, because part of the gap with the pandemic was the lack of information. To Lon Ray, all the work that he has done to really get our young people engaged, particularly in sports, and has served as a mentor to so many of our youth, and someone who is truly embedded within the community that I grew up in the South Side. And my dear friend Angie, not only is she a community steward, she is one of the kindest people you will ever meet. She is a friend. She is my mentor. I don't think there are many people like her who have this heart and who always puts community first. It has truly been an honor to get to know her and to be inspired by the work that she has done in the community. So it is just truly an honor to have gotten to know all of you and to see the work that you continue to do, because it inspires all of us to do better. So thank you, all of you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Next, President Pro Tem Espinal, and then Councilman Goncalves.
Thank you, Mr. President. Landrade, Angela, and Reverend Jenkins, I just want to say congratulations being inducted into the Hall of Fame. And I want to be grateful and thankful to you for everything that you've done in our city and for being role models at a time, such difficult time that we live in. Our kids have great examples in you to look after. You've been leaders, true leaders in our community. And believe me, we truly appreciate it. And I am more than honored to co-sponsor this recognition, this resolution in behalf of your name. So on behalf of our friendship and everyone that knows you, that cares, that you guys care so much about our community and our city, thank you so much. You're great. Your work is deeply appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, President Pro Tem. Next, Councilman Goncalves, then Senior Deputy Majority Leader Narducci. Councilman Goncalves.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to echo what's already been said. I just wanted to thank all three honorees, Mrs. Bannerman and Coma, Reverend Jenkins, and Lanray, and acknowledge them for their longstanding work in the community. Thank each and every one of you for all that you do. We're just so appreciative, and thank you again. We can't thank you enough.
Thank you. Senior Deputy Majority Leader Narducci.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also just want to say thank you very much to all three of you. Well deserved. And moving forward, just keep up the good work. Thank you once again for what you guys do for the city of Providence.
Well said, everybody. Any other council colleague? With that, thank you again, folks, for all your hard work. Madam Clerk, the next item, please. Item number 22.
Mr.
Councilwoman
President,
Ryan.
motion to waive the reading of item 22 and pass in a voice vote.
Second, Mr. President.
Second by Deputy Majority Leader Harris. Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Next item.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Ryan.
motion to waive the reading of items 23 through 25.
Second, Mr. President.
Second by Deputy Majority Leader Harris. Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Submit item 23 to Public Works, 24 to Public Safety, and 25 to the Committee on Special Committee on State Legislative Affairs. We have Councilman LaFortune and then Councilman Goncalves.
Yeah, thank you, Council President. We had our name on before we our hands up before the vote took place, but I wanted to talk on item 24 and actually wanted to see if any other council people were interested in co-sponsoring this resolution. But basically, we've seen an influx of violence throughout our city since the start of the pandemic, but a lot of the challenges that many of our city's youth, the community have faced and has resulted to violence have existed even before that. And as many of us know, the pandemic exacerbated some of the barriers and the challenges so many people face. And so I've been looking at what are some methods or strategies cities throughout the nation are implementing to try to curb the violence that are happening. And one thing that many of them have instituted is creating some sort of task force that engages with the community, but also involves people from behavioral health backgrounds, the youth, because we want to make sure that the youth voice is heard and they're at the table, community members, public safety, the Nonviolence Institute, so that we can come up with a strategic plan, but also think about some strategies and initiatives that we can implement to reduce the violence within the city of Providence. Because regardless of what neighborhood the violence is occurring in, it impacts all of us adversely. I've heard from business owners to parents. I've sat in hospitals with people, family members of victims of gun violence. And it's really having an adverse impact on all aspects of our community. So it's important that we take the necessary steps to try to come up with a plan to look at the root causes of these violence incidents, but also implement initiatives to address them. So I do hope that my council members can join me in supporting this resolution so that we can not just talk about the violence, but actually come up with solutions, comprehensive and impactful solutions to not only address it, but to also make true investments in our communities to prevent it from happening.
Thank you. Councilman Goncalves?
Thank you, Mr. President. This is about a separate matter. Should I continue or?
Oh, sure. I mean, is it on, are you on personal expression?
It's on item 23.
Oh, yeah, you can speak on it, sure. Yes.
So thank you, Councilwoman LaFortune, for those wonderful remarks. And first and foremost, I just want to thank my fellow colleagues who have co-sponsored item number 23. As many of you know, this is a resolution that's asking the city administration to explore parking rules and an online snow emergency interactive map that can help make snow removal a seamless process for everyone in the city. And currently, when a citywide parking ban is issued, people have to scramble to find a place to park. In wards like mine, with many college and transient residents, there are no places for these folks to park, and it makes it very hard for them to move their vehicles. Additionally, it's not feasible for people to park in a private lot downtown and then trek up to Fox Point, for example, during a snowstorm. And the same is true for so many neighborhoods and wards across the city. If one doesn't own a driveway or a garage, there aren't many places to park. And then secondly, when they reach capacity in terms of number of cars that they can tow, then they can't tow anymore, which doesn't allow DPW to effectively clean up certain areas because they don't have the additional capacity. And also towing isn't really the greatest solution because it can be very punitive. And if people don't have options, then they just don't have options. So while I acknowledge all the hard work of DPW, and I know that snow removal can be very challenging, there are lots of creative models out there in snow-prone cities that utilize different methods and models to remove snow to curb to curb. And I think we ought to embrace some of those models. As many of you know, I lived in Minneapolis, and their snow removal is pretty effective. And while there are bigger cities that are doing this, and of course it's more complicated in those cities, I think Providence ought to explore a similar model. And again, this is just an exploration phase. It would be something that DPW can explore. That's why we did this in the form of a resolution, because we think it's important to explore and work together before any ordinance is proposed. So with that, I hope folks will co-sponsor this piece of legislation, and ultimately we can work together to find solutions that benefit all of our neighborhoods. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. And item number 26, Madam Clerk.
Reports from committee.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Ryan?
motion to waive the reading of items 26 through 30 and pass on a voice vote.
Second, Mr. President.
Second by Deputy Majority Leader Harris. Discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Next item?
Committee on Finance. Councilwoman Joanne Ryan.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Ryan.
motion to waive the reading of item 31 and pass on a roll call vote.
Second, Mr. President.
Second by Deputy Majority Leader Harris. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Point of order.
Oh, I'm sorry, roll call vote. My apologies. Roll call vote.
Council President Iglesias.
Aye. My apologies. Aye.
Councilwoman Anthony.
Aye.
Majority Whip Castillo.
Aye.
Councilman Correa is absent. Council President Pro Tempore Espinal.
Aye.
Councilman Gonzalez.
Aye.
Deputy Majority Leader Harris,
Aye.
Councilor Kerwin,
Aye.
Councilwoman LaFortune,
Aye.
Councilor Miller is absent. Senior Deputy Majority Leader Narducci is absent. Councilwoman Ryan,
Aye.
Councilor Salvatore,
Nay.
okay. Majority Leader Taylor is absent. Councilman Vargas is absent. You have 9 ayes, 1 nay, 5 absent. The motion carries. The matter is passed on roll call vote.
Thank you. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Consists the following.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Ryan.
motion to pass item 32 on a voice vote. Waive the reading and pass item 32 on a voice vote.
Second.
Second by Deputy Majority Leader Harris. Discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Next item,
Consists the following.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Ryan.
motion to waive the reading of items 33 through 37.
Received.
No, no,
Second, Mr. President.
Deputy Majority Leader Harris. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Received and approved, right? Next item,
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Ryan.
motion to waive the reading of items 38 and 39 and pass on roll call vote.
Second, Mr. President.
Second by Deputy Majority Leader Harris. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Roll call. I did the motion, then I did the roll call. Sorry.
Council President Iglesias.
Aye.
Councilwoman Anthony.
Aye.
Majority Whip Castillo.
Aye.
Councilman Correa is absent. Council President Pro Tempore Espinal.
Aye.
Councilman Gonzalez.
Aye.
Deputy Majority Leader Harris.
Aye.
Councilor Kerwin.
Aye.
Councilwoman LaFortune.
Aye.
Councilor Miller is absent. Senior Deputy Majority Leader Narducci is absent. Councilwoman Ryan.
Aye.
Councilor Salvatore.
Aye.
Majority Leader Taylor is absent. Councilman Vargas is absent. You have 10 ayes, 5 absent. The motion carries. The matter is passed with on a roll call vote.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Item number 40, please.
From the clerk's desk, item 40, petition for compensation for injuries and damages.
Refer them to the Committee on Claims and Pending Suits.
Presentation of resolutions and congratulations, item 41. Council President Iglesias and members of the City Council, resolution extending congratulations.
Councilman
Mr.
Ryan.
President, pass item 41 on a voice vote.
Second, Mr. President.
Second by Deputy Majority Leader Harris. Discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
42.
Presentation of resolutions and memoriam. Item 42, Council President Iglesias and members of the City Council, resolution extending sympathy.
Mr.
Councilman
President,
Ryan.
motion to pass on a unanimous rising vote, item 42.
Second, Mr. President.
Second by Deputy Majority Leader Harris.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Ryan.
motion to adjourn this night's meeting in memory of William Anderson, retired firefighter, Robert Shonier, active PB Providence Rescue, Lieutenant Tom Miller, retired Providence police officer, Richard Bennett, retired police officer, and the unofficial mayor of Lakeview Estates, George Frenchy Gregorian.
Second, Mr. President.
Second by Deputy Majority Leader Harris. Aye. Thank you all. Be well, be safe.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Mr.
much again.
President.
Thank you.